What's up, you elite specimens? In today's video, we're going to be discussing what is truly required of you to follow your path of highest excitement. In other words, how do you align every area of your life to do what you love, to follow your deep internal passions, to follow your innate curiosities that are within you. However, at this current point in time, you may be denying yourself of this joy and of this path that is going to be of least resistance for you, that is going to allow you to open up to the greater knowledge and understanding of what your unique purpose is in life, what your mission is. It's all going to reveal itself as you follow your path of highest excitement. So that's what we're going to be talking about today. And if you are someone that is currently potentially stuck in a job or a career path that you're not truly aligned with and fired up by, if you are feeling low energetically or lethargic in any way, if you are struggling to build momentum in your life, obviously there can be many variables around why that is the current case, okay? So I'm not going to get into every aspect of this conversation of why you may be feeling that way. However, the primary principle that we are going to be talking about today that can pull you out of that to build initial momentum and to start aligning yourself with the path that is most aligned and in resonant for your greater destiny is going to be this principle of following your excitement in life. And the key in being introduced into this specific core topic of discussion, or the primary problem that most people face when they hear the classic advice of do what you love, follow your passion, follow your path of the highest excitement, most people are quite resistant to that advice because the first thing that is going to pop up energetically and mentally, they're probably going to be faced with fear of the unknown of, well, how on earth can I follow a path of my highest excitement if I'm currently stuck in this job and I need to continue to show up to the job to pay for my bills and, I've got people to provide for, and they're worried about making a transition in their life where they would actually be giving themselves permission to follow the path of highest excitement. So let's break this down, okay? And I'm going to cover that aspect of this conversation too, because there is a way to approach it that is a little bit more methodical in a way that you can make a more easier transition phase over time. So here's the deal. At the end of the day, and we're going to expand on this conversation in depth, the primary principle that we need to understand is that the principle of following your highest excitement in life is the primary organizing principle that ultimately directs you to what is your destiny. And you've got many different levels of consciousness that you have access to that are available within you as a human being, because we live in a multi-dimensional reality. And at the end of the day, you are a multi-dimensional spiritual being having a temporary human experience. So we need to understand that, hey, yes, you're operating down here on planet Earth in a physical realm with your conscious physical mind, okay? However, through your entire mind-body spirit complex, you also have access to your soul, your higher self, and your spirit team, and the universe at large, okay? You've got this power, this creative energy within you, and your higher self is essentially guiding you at all times toward your destiny in life, okay? And your higher self operates on the language of energy. And so does the entire universe. The universe operates on the language of energy, frequency, vibration. And the way that your higher self communicates to you, oftentimes it can place synchronicities in your life. It can give you signs and symbols. And I've got other videos that talk about that stuff. You can search my YouTube channel about following the signs. Your higher self is trying to talk to you. And it does this, but it also communicates to you directly in the form of energy that you can feel within your energetic system, okay? In the form of emotions, because emotions are energy in motion. They move throughout your body. And this is where you can start to feel the full spectrum of emotions as a human being. They're very complex to navigate. It's quite difficult to navigate because we're never taught how to manage and process and even interpret our emotions when we're growing up as young kids. And most adults are also very naive with how to actually manage their emotions effectively and how to use it as a guiding system, a compass that they can use in unison with their conscious mind, okay? So if the higher self is operating on the language of energy and it's sending us subtle energies throughout our day, the key is to be able to get ourselves to a purified place where we can interpret those energies effectively with clarity. And by doing so, we can take action from the messages that we're receiving energetically. Because here's the key. The way that the conscious mind communicates in this physical realm is through physical action, okay? So if the higher self up here, all around us, is us as well. When we merge with our higher self, we receive energy, okay? And as that energy comes through, if we are in a purified place, this is really key to understand. If we are pure energetically, mentally, spiritually at that point, then we can interpret the messages or the energies coming through without distortion. And so we can feel and see things clearly, or see ourselves in the world clearly. And from that place, we can make the most appropriate decision of what action to take. So if your higher self is trying to guide you in the direction of your higher purpose, the path that is most aligned for you, that'll come through in the form of excitement, inspiration, curiosity, where you're naturally compelled and drawn. And I know you've probably experienced these energies before. And when you look back throughout your life, at times when you took action on the things that you were most excited by, inspired by, curious about, there was probably some greater results that ultimately ended up occurring, small or large. It doesn't matter about how grand in context, but the bottom line is that you probably progressed in your own evolutionary state by taking action on the inspiration or the exciting energies coming through you, okay? Because when you take action on the energy that comes through in the form of excitement, you're then communicating back to your higher self and establishing a stronger connection that says, hey, I'm receiving this energy of excitement and I am willing to take action, physical action, to initiate this pathway, this timeline that I am now progressing upon. Now, here's the key, and here's the reason why most people don't actually follow their path of excitement. Number one, it can be due to trauma. So through conditioning and programming that then gets held deeply within the subconscious mind in our formative years, now as we're operating as adults, if we've got deep conditioning that we don't deserve it, that we're not worthy of feeling good most of the time, then we're probably not going to take the path of highest excitement because we continue to deny ourselves, because we're not willing to actually take the leap of faith or trust that this is going to work out for us in that direction, because we're not used to feeling those high frequency energies. And so oftentimes we deny ourselves of our light and we shut down, we isolate, and we stay on the hard path because we have a subconscious belief that everything should be hard, or that I don't deserve the joy and the expansive type of energies that I could tap into if I were willing to take that path of highest excitement. So there's a lot of healing work to be done in order to align with these higher timelines. And that's why I mentioned earlier that purifying yourself is critical, because if you have unhealed trauma or pain residing within your energetic system, then essentially when communication comes through from your higher self, then it's going to be very difficult to perceive it accurately, because the dense energies are going to distort the frequencies and the purity of the message coming through. So then we're going to perceive it in the wrong light, or we're energetically going to manipulate ourselves to not be excited by the things that are actually in the greatest interest and timeline for ourselves. So that's why no matter what you're doing in your life, like one thing to always prioritize is cleaning yourself up mentally, physically, spiritually, and purifying yourself. So that means obviously optimizing your diet, learning how to clear your energy, doing energy work, healing work, being careful of what you're taking in mentally with the inputs throughout our world. There's a lot of manipulation, a lot of distraction, a lot of things that you can just get addicted to that you're not being intentional about, okay? So it's that side of the equation needs to be applied, okay? So we can consistently progress and increase our vibration and therefore be in greater alignment with our higher self at all times. The second piece here is that oftentimes a lot of fear comes up within the physical conscious mind because we don't have a clear path of how things are going to work out by following the path of highest excitement, okay? So instead, we settle for safer options. We settle for safer decisions that we think we have predictability around, okay? So for example, that might look like, well, I'm going to stay in this job because I know that I have predictable income and that keeps me safe and secure and inside my comfort zone, so I don't have to stretch out and grow as a as a multidimensional spiritual being, and that's ultimately the reason why I'm here. So you opt for the safer option, okay? And then you deny yourself of going and potentially following a path that could lead to greater expansion, but you deny it because it's not logical. It doesn't make any sense. Energetically, it could feel good, but logically, you deny it time and time again out of fear. So if this is the case, then what is the answer? How do we navigate aligning with our higher purpose? How do we navigate creating a life of greater joy from within, things that we ultimately love to do? Well, there's a process. On one side, based on the principles and the laws of the universe, you could ultimately just start choosing to follow your path of highest excitement in every now moment of every single day. And if you were purified and you had no limiting beliefs around your ability to create results by following this pathway, you could absolutely do it, and you could succeed in that way, because when you follow the path of highest excitement, you start vibrating in the highest energies that are available to you within this realm, okay, at your current level of consciousness. When you do that, because of the laws of energy, frequency, vibration, and the holographic nature of our universe, you essentially attract what you put out, okay? So if you're vibrating low energetic frequencies, you're likely to attract that into your life. If you're putting out very high vibrational energies, you attract energies that are in a similar resonance to your vibration. So when you are operating out of love and excitement and joy, over time, your external reality will start to mirror that back to you and match your current energetic frequency. And that's when more synchronicities will start to take off and show up in your life that is essentially validating the path that you're on. Things just start to click. You start to operate in greater levels of flow with greater levels of ease. There's no resistance to a certain degree that's going to show up compared to another dense path that you might be on, where it feels like an absolute grind, where it's very difficult. There's always challenges and roadblocks and things that are popping up that are derailing you at all times. A lot of the time, those challenges and roadblocks can be either one, because it's trying to nudge you away from the current path that you're on. However, secondly, I do want to mention that not all challenges mean that, hey, you shouldn't be doing that thing. A lot of the challenges can show up as well to test you, test your inner resolve, test your ability to grow and overcome and move through those challenges, okay? Because if we look at the biggest macro picture here of our experience in this universe and in this earthly realm, ultimately we did choose to come here to Earth to play a game that is very dense. You know, the Earth game is very difficult. It's hard. There's a lot of darkness, a lot of evil that reigns within this world, and it's, you know, the system is not set up in order for us to succeed and thrive, okay? However, if you are a strong enough soul and individual, through enough inner spiritual work, you can essentially integrate and rise above, or integrate the matrix system within your life and thrive in spite of the limitations that you were born with. This is ultimately a master school of overcoming limitations. So on one side, as we're merging to this higher energetic vibration and are able to follow our path of highest excitement, doing what we love, we're like flow, everything will just start to flow more naturally with greater ease. Until we get there, you know, we've got to continue to move through the struggles and the challenges that we're facing in our life and continue to show up with a positive energy, a positive mindset that reframes everything that we're experiencing. So no matter what it is that you're currently experiencing, the way to bring yourself into a higher vibration is to always see everything as a learning experience. No matter what is happening to you, say that this is happening for me, not against me, okay? Everything is always happening for you, because when it's happening for you, you approach the experience with a growth mindset and you're like, what can I extract? You dissolve the ego, because the ego wants to take offense to everything, okay? So no matter what hardships that you may be facing in your life right now, they are all opportunities for growth. And through that growth, you raise your vibration because you dissolve a lot of karmic debt. You dissolve karmic energies, you dissolve dense energies, you heal as well, and you evolve as a soul, and then you can ultimately start to align with higher vibrational energies by doing more of what you love over time. Now, having said that as a more spiritual-based view, in terms of the practical approach for moving forward and aligning with this, I do want to say that, hey, if you know that you've currently got limiting beliefs that would prevent you from just going all in on what you love and following the path of your highest excitement, well, your beliefs create your reality. So if you have limiting beliefs and you know that within your mind, well, you've got to work with your beliefs. You can't work against your beliefs. So if you believe that, well, you're not going to be supported by following your path of highest excitement, doing more of what you love, then you won't be because you don't believe it, okay? So right now, I wouldn't make any drastic changes. What I would do, however, say that, as an example, you work in the 9-to-5 job. You don't like it, but it provides for you and it provides for the people around you. Fantastic. How can you show up in that job with greater passion? As a human being, how can you start to serve those around you to a higher extent? Despite you not liking the work, can you surrender to the work in the short term to appreciate it, to appreciate the value that you get in return from it, your ability to provide at this current state, to put food on the table, to have a roof over your head, to provide for your loved ones? If you can bring yourself to that energetic state of surrender and letting go and accepting the work, and reframing it as a growth opportunity emotionally and spiritually, well, you can then start to also work on the other hand, when you're not working in your job, the way that you can start to apply this path of highest excitement in your everyday life, you can experiment with it by doing it in a small ways, okay? You don't have to just do a massive career overhaul right away. What you could do instead is start to follow things that you love doing more so. So in your everyday of operation. For example, when you get home from work or on the weekends, whatever free time you have, start asking yourself and start showing up in this way and ask yourself the following question. In this now moment, what do I feel most excited to do? In this moment, what do I feel most excited to do? You can meditate on it, you can analyze it, you can sit with it, but feel into the energies. If you're uncertain, write out everything that you could essentially do. Like write a list of everything that you could do and look at each one and then be like, which one holds the highest energetic vibration? What am I most excited and passionate about doing right now? And then go and do that. And then as you kind of finish whatever you're doing there and that energy starts to maybe dry up or dissipate, then ask yourself once again, what do I feel most excited to do right now? And then go and do that. And then allow yourself to follow that chain of decision making, because that is the internal compass system that is built within you to guide you on the highest path that will lead to synchronicities. Now, here's the key. The key is to follow that path of highest excitement with no attachment whatsoever to the outcome. So you can set intentions for what you're trying to create in your life, what you're trying to achieve. That's fine. Hold intentions, but release the attachment to the outcomes, because your attachment can absolutely dissipate the results that you could be experiencing if you were to be approaching everything without attachment, without the energetic attachment involved, okay? So the human mind can get tripped up in this phase of following your highest excitement because it's got fear and it's always worried about the how. But your job isn't to do that. That's not the job of the human mind. That's the job of the higher mind, to orchestrate in the higher realms and to start to orchestrate within your life. But what your human mind needs to do is follow the actions in the inner driving system that is generating excitement within you, and follow that path to the end and continue to do it, because that's going to then communicate to the higher self that you're taking action and you're following through on your excitement. So then your higher self will start to put more things in your life for you to navigate, for you to go and pursue. And that will connect you with the right people. It'll put you in the right places. It'll give you the right insights. So for example, say that you're working on a project on your laptop and you're kind of just getting pretty fatigued in the day and a lot of resistance is showing up. Well, a lot of people would just tell you grind through it. And while that can be applicable in some cases, I'll talk about that in a moment, but the other alternative path is for you to sit back and be like, okay, well, what would I be more inspired to do right now? Well, maybe I want to go take a walk on the beach, okay? Or maybe I want to go down to the shops. Maybe I want to go for a run or a workout at the gym. When you take action on that, what can happen, so it's important not to have any attachment on anything happening. However, what can often happen is like maybe you're going to the gym and you overhear a conversation, or you hear like certain lyrics in a song that are playing on the radio or on the music track when you're working out that gives you an insight or your next piece of inspiration that unlocks the next level of action for you. So then when you come back, maybe you're more inspired because you now receive the insight that you need to then follow through and bring the project to greater advancement or conclusion even, that gives you a greater level of energy to continue to follow through on what you're currently doing. So this is very intricate, it's quite nuanced, but it's also very simple when you just take a step back and look at the core theme of how you can start to live. This is a way of life. And that is to ask yourself, what am I excited to do in this now moment? And do that without attachment to the outcome and follow it. So a lot of people that are watching this video, they're also going to come back, and one gap that I haven't discussed yet is going to be, well, what about doing hard things in life? You know, what about growing through the grind and growing through doing hard things consistently to grow as a soul, okay? And mentally and physically. So yes, I do agree with doing hard things as well. It's not an all or nothing approach. So I like to take the approach of living in the flow, but I also like to create a little bit of structure in my life to continue to essentially run headfirst into the darkness, punching the devil right in the fucking face, to grow and evolve and continue to build my inner belief within myself of being able to overcome my overcome mentally, physically, spiritually when I'm faced with hard situations. So for example, what that might look like is you scheduling in, knowing that, hey, you're going to do something hard today. Maybe it's going for a bit of a longer run than what you're used to. Maybe it's doing a more of an intense workout. Maybe it's meditating longer than what you have. So when you face resistance in the meditation, maybe you just go that extra 10 minutes, that extra 20 minutes. Maybe you go an hour extra. Maybe you do something hard by cleaning up your diet to a greater degree, but I always do hard things that are gonna, I know for a fact they're gonna lead to exponential growth on the backside of it, okay? So if you know something's great for you to do, for example, looking after your body, looking after your mind, meditating, going to the gym, or eating clean and nutritious, well, overcoming resistance in those cases, it's going to lead and yield to greater results because you're moving through initial resistance, but then you're going to be committing to doing something hard that's in your greatest benefit. And the more hard things you do, ironically, the easier they become because you train your mind and you callous your mind to view challenges and obstacles in a different light, okay? And by doing those extreme things on a daily or weekly basis, then it reframes the rest of your life and puts the rest of your life in greater perspective, where you can now kind of go through the rest of your day with greater ease and greater flow because you've overcome the demons in your mind and you're able to now reframe that, and you've got extra conviction, belief, and power within yourself that you can channel into all of your other pursuits when you're going and following your path of highest excitement. So that's the yin yang of doing hard things versus following your path of highest excitement and doing what you love. So I would love to hear your feedback on what resonated with you the most in this video. And also, if you actually apply this, let me know how you go with it, because it's very trippy when you're used to living this life that is always stressful, that is always hard, where you're always on the grind, you're always hustling, you always feel taxed out and energetically drained and never passionate about what you do. So this is about flipping the script and giving yourself permission to do those things. And, you know, obviously, if you've got to provide, that's fantastic. Create structure around those things. Also create some structure and routine around doing hard things each and every day. That's what I like to do. But then in your extra time, fill the space with the flow-based activities that lead to greater outcomes via your excitement, because you never know what your higher self is orchestrating on the backside, just waiting for you to take action on the things that you love doing, where you bring yourself into the highest energetic vibration, where you tap into flow states, synchronicities start to click and come to you. You meet the right people, and these are all signs that, hey, like, this is the path for you, okay? And then eventually, with enough practice doing these things and trusting and reframing your belief that this is a way of life. You can actually do this consistently over time, full time. Well, that's when you might then be in a position to actually, the opportunities might pop up in your reality to leave the current job you're in, because now you've found a new reality that can actually provide for you. So, as you're doing all this, continue to work on your subconscious beliefs, of course, but would love to hear your feedback on what you've experienced with this, what your current approach is between the yin and the yang, the structured masculine type approach versus the flow of, listening to your inner guidance within your higher self. And I will say that, hey, we're all in a major transition phase globally, energetically, as a collective, where we're transitioning from a low energetic vibration in the third dimension into the fifth, where we are transitioning into a new way of life. So, it's going to be a bit trippy as you start to live this way of life. And that's what it is. This is a high vibrational way of life, but start to experiment with it and see what results you gain from it, okay? And yeah, let's get the discussion going in the comments if you feel called to. And finally, before we wrap this video up, I do also want to extend an invitation for you to join us in our new free community, new United Mind community on Skool, completely free to join, where we're essentially uniting like-minded entrepreneurs and creators that view themselves as renegades, as people that view the world differently from the masses and the status quos of society. We're all coming together to find and build new ways of creating our dream realities, of finding ways to build businesses that are in alignment with your highest timeline, highest path, to create more financial freedom, to be able to do more things that you ultimately love. And we're also on this path of expanding in consciousness and mastering all domains of life, not just one. And we're doing this in the pursuit of being able to activate the gifts within us to be of greater service to our families and the world at large as we transition through this shift in consciousness. Because let's face it, there is a dark agenda at play. There is a tremendous agenda at play that is very evil in nature. They are complete psychopaths ruling over and enslaving humanity. And we've got to connect. We've got to unite together to attract like minds, to ultimately master thyself. And once we're doing that, then we can start to build solutions that can change the world for the better in the long term. Because the way things are going within the world, they're not looking that great. We've seen a big transformation that took place where they did a massive power grab over the last 4 years. And look, there's some more extreme shit coming, especially in 2024. So strap yourself in, buckle up, get obsessed with this stuff. We've got to rise. We've got to start to activate the power within. We've got to connect with our fellow human beings and comrades to unite as one and to build solutions that can truly accelerate our development and expansion and awareness in consciousness, so we can spread the message out to other people. We can build solutions that other people can be guided through and follow through to enable this personal shift on an individual level and also the collective shift at large. Because look, the systems are going to collapse. Financially, the education system is going to go. The entire banking system is going to go. There's going to be massive booms in technology. There's a massive innovation of AI right now. There's so much shit going on that your mind, as operating as an individual, is going to blow the fuck up. So get connected. Make sure that you build out your tribe so you've got people that you can rely on when things go south to navigate the chaos as one unit. So you've got people that you can rely on, and that's what we're building at United Mind. So if this resonates, come and apply into the free community, answer the 3 questions at the very as you join, and then if we like the look of you, we like what you're about, we'll approve you, and would love to connect with you further in that space. You'll also be able to get access to free courses, workshops as well, Q&A calls, the full shebang. So yeah, would love to see you there, and that's going to be it for this specific video, but I'll see you in the next video. Ciao, gang.